karoshi, right? Karoshi comes from Japan, and this is where you have this very high prevalence of people dropping dead from overwork. So you spoke about how that actually can happen.
Yeah.
So their body just giving out. And this is the dark side, isn't it,
Yeah,
of high performance?
absolutely. Yeah. I think I had a lucky escape, but I mean, I didn't realize how lucky it was until I went to see a psychologist at the time, because I thought I'm going completely off my rocker, who told me that, well, it's lucky you're still standing.
Wow.
Because the number of people that have pushed themselves to the level that you are not standing anymore, have collapsed.
So what do you tell a business, many of us here today, where we're literally, you haven't come here to talk about toning down performance, right? I mean, these guys have come here so that we can increase profit, so that we can increase turnover, that we could grow our business. And now suddenly we've got this message. We're saying, whoa, we need to put the brakes on here. Do you not find you get a bit of a kickback or rather pushback to that?
And I think it's a great question, because absolutely, we want profit, we want performance from people, but there's a different way of doing things. And I realized that a lot of the issues sat with me. In the way that I looked at things. Business is a serious thing, but we don't have to deal with it so seriously. And I think with hysterical industriousness, we become so intense and see ourselves as machines.
Yeah.
And the kind of cultures that we have in our organizations are typically command and control, very bureaucratic, and there's a lot of fear.
Right.
And I think if we can look at businesses not just as a place to earn money, but a place where connections are made, where ideas happen, where solutions are found, where people can kind of excel and see it like that, it's just changing the way that we see things.
Right.
And so, performance then is a byproduct. Profit is a byproduct of that. So I think that's changing.
And perhaps this hysterical industriousness you talk about is actually counterproductive to performance. I mean, we were talking with Cyrus about Lance Armstrong, Oscar Pistorius. These are people who are all about high performance. Lance Armstrong probably a better example here of somebody who was willing then to trash his values for performance. So that can't be good in the corporate world either. And we do see this. We see high-level corporate meltdowns and bankruptcies. You only have to look at Enron to see what happens when it's all about goals. It's all about performance. So if you're talking about long-term longevity, sustainability, then this isn't about actually putting on the brakes. This is actually about maybe taking your foot a little off the accelerator so that you can get further.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it is, for me, the key thing was this relationship with myself, which I mentioned. I didn't have a relationship with myself. I was so about the goal and the brand and moving forward. And actually, they make the worst leaders, by the way. When you're all about the brand and the goal and the vision and moving forward, because there's no relationship, if you like, with others, because I felt people had put me on this pedestal.
Yeah.
That's the key thing. You get paid for doing something really well. People recognize you for doing something really well. You get caught in this trap, and it's so hard to pull back. So you live up to that, and it becomes kind of inauthentic. Right.
And as you say, it starts to kill relationships. Look, we do see some high-profile leaders, people like Steve Jobs, who we all love to roll out. I mean, Steve Jobs, quite frankly, was a bit of a shit, right? I mean, he was. The guy was, he was so focused on the goal. And in fact, Elon Musk, similar mindset. And when I say that, I say it with respect, because these are people who are changing the world, but they're changing the world often at expense of people. And so, what about Branson? I mean, where'd you place him? Come on now, you've got the inside. Let's hear it. Where's Branson? I mean, he is the ultimate high performer. Do you feel that he maybe compromised relationships a little in his pursuit of greatness?
I can't speak for him now, but I speak in the early days. I mean, he was very, very concerned about employees. I mean, just to give you an insight, my dad died in a car crash when I was in my late mid-20s, and I'd been with Virgin for a couple of years. I mean, he phoned me at home to ask me, are you okay? Is your family okay for money? Do you need anything? So that's the kind of guy that he was. And he recognized, that people do, I think, perform, that were putting in a lot to work for him.
Well, now that you say it, I recall, if I'm not mistaken, it was Branson who said the most important people in your business are not your shareholders, are not your customers, are your people. Because if your people are not well, your customer's not going to be well, and your business is not going to be well.
Yeah, Totally. That's totally it. And that's the lesson that I learned, with Virgin. It's just that I found it hard as a leader to apply it because I didn't have that relationship with myself. And I think that's critical. It's great buying into somebody's vision and strategy, but you've got to understand why you're doing it for yourself.
Yeah. Well, Caroline, thank you for a courageous message, one that I think is really unique and timely.
Thank you.
Thank you.